Hi friends and welcome to this lesson. When you send an email, what are the things that you must always take care of? What are the things which create an impression on the person on the other side? How can you make the person on the other side take the action that you truly desire that person to take? These are some of the things that we are going to talk about in today's lesson. Friends, a lot of people make mistakes in spelling. A lot of people make grammatical errors. Sometimes you're not clear about what you want to convey and you have not given it much thought. So there is no clarity of thought. So there is no clarity of purpose. You're not clear about what you should be conveying to that person. So in today's lesson, we are going to see all these things, and by the end of the lesson, we are going to learn how to overcome these problems. Let me now share my screen and we get into the lesson. Buddy. Now, the subject of my mail today is leave for today. Now, most of the time, I find that your mails are. What are the problems with most mails? Wait a second. Let me share my whiteboard and then let us talk. Okay. Now, some of the problems that have been noticed in your emails are spelling, grammar, sentence construction, thought clarity. So, we are talking about mail problems. So, friends, let me just tell you how you can bring about these four things. Now, the first thing should always be thought clarity on why you are writing. So, what is the purpose? That is the first thing. You need to clarify with yourself in your mind, what is my purpose in writing this mail? Supposing I am writing a leave application. So, my purpose to get leave. So why am I writing it? Because I want to get leave. This is going to be my purpose. The second thing is I need to have my reasons. So whatever I'm asking for, whatever I'm asking for, I must have solid reasons and I must have something to support my claim, whatever I'm claiming, or support my request. So this is the raw material that I must collect. This is also called the homework that I must do before I actually start writing my mail. So if I spend, now how much time would I have spent doing this? I would have spent maybe 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. So if I'm writing an important mail and I'm not willing to spend even 2 minutes jotting down some things about the mail, then there's something wrong with me. Because if I cannot do that, then what will happen? My mail is not going to be well understood by my recipient. Most of the time, the problem with written communication or oral communication is that you have something in your mind and you convey it in some manner and you assume that the other person has understood it the same way as you have it in your mind. That is not always possible. So, what you have in mind is not what I will understand. What you have in mind is not what I have in mind. That is why sometimes we are saying, come on, you can't understand this also. Look, you can't understand this. We should not say to the other person, because the way we understand is different, the way the other person understands is different. So, what do we have to do? We have to try our best from the beginning to make sure that things are so clear that most people would understand it, instead of assuming that okay, I've written, it is clear to me, I've written, that person will also understand. So no, that person may not understand. That is why there are so many mails that are not answered. There are so many mails that fail to get you the action that you desired. You know, at the end of a mail, we have something called CTA, call to action. Now, this is unanswered. Why is it unanswered? It is unanswered because we could not lead to the call of action or call to action in such a way that the other person would be compelled to take the action. Supposing we are talking about leave application, that means we want your boss to read your mail and immediately respond to your call to action by saying leave approved or leave granted. So if you have structured your mail application in such a way that the person there would read and clearly understand why leave should be granted, even if you have something very important going on in office, that is the effectiveness of a mail. So this raw material is very important because this is what we are going to use in order to make our recipient respond positively. So we want him to respond positively to the call to action. So this homework, once you have done, why is clear to you and you have reasons and example or whatever other data to support your claim or request, then you can start trying to structure your mail. Now, two things are absolutely uncompromisable. One, spelling mistakes should not happen. There should be no mistakes in spelling and grammar, because these are two things that you can always, you have tools to review them. And if you have tools to review something and then you make mistakes in them, that only shows your carelessness. It does not show anything else. See, I get mails from students every day. You guys are sending mails. I'm copied in many mails. And what I see is a lot of you fail to capitalize the next letter after a full stop. Your punctuation is out. Words are misspelt. And I'm sure when something is misspelt, the mail client that you have, say Gmail or whatever mail client you have, it highlights by making that text red, R-E-D. So that is highlighted in red. But we do not actually pay any attention to it. We do not run a spell check. We do not run a grammar check. We do not even read before we send. So, because of all these things, we have problems with our mail. And what are the things that actually happen? When we send mails with problems there, then one of the things that is happening is poor impression. And there may be no response. This you must have seen. A lot of your mails are not answered, and it leaves a poor impression also. So, how to get rid of all these things? That is what we are going to discuss again. So, these two things, don't compromise on them. Now, let's go to sentence construction. So, sentence construction will begin once we have clarity of thought. Once we have clarity of thought, then we will now start constructing our mail. Let me stop sharing this. Let's go back to our mail client and let us try to write down the mail now. Okay. So the first thing in every mail after the salutation and greeting is when we start. So let's say I'll write greetings of the day. So this thing is prompting me. This thing is prompting me all the time. Okay. Now let me just increase the size of this so that you are able to see it a little better. So, dear sir, greetings of the day. Now, I have to write to my boss asking leave for today. Hope this email finds you well. I have a small problem that demands serious attention and for which I would like to be granted leave for today. My So let's just read it again. Dear sir, greetings of the day. Hope this email finds you well. I have a small problem that demands serious attention and for which I would like to be granted leave for today. My grandfather was ill for the last couple of days and is now on the road to recovery. My parents need to go to the doctor for a medical checkup. Since there is no one else at home, I would be taking care of my grandfather today. So see, it's a small problem that he has to take care of the grandfather and no one else is at home. But it demands serious attention. Serious attention means that grandfather is not something that does not demand serious attention. So the grandfather's condition and grandfather being alone at home requires serious attention. So this guy is being very truthful also and would like to be granted leave for today. So why? Because parents are going to the doctor for a medical checkup. Now these days everybody is going for checkups or they are going for vaccination. So this guy would be there. Now because you want the call to action to be positively considered, you will write one more thing. I would be happy to work from, so let me write from and let's see, home today. Father, kindly allow me leave for today. All right, now this has highlighted form. So I must see what I can do about it. It is saying it should be from. Okay, let me let it correct. Now, me to leave for today. Now, here this software is wrong. It's saying me to leave. Kindly allow me to leave for today. So, you are not asking for permission to go away from office. Kindly allow me leave for today. Supposing I write now, let's see. A leave for today. So the moment I have written a leave for today, the software is saying it is okay. Leave for today, it said to leave for today. So this is how I can get help from the software. This is how I can draft a mail. What have I done? I have written my greeting etc. is fine. Then I have written my purpose for writing. What is the purpose for writing? That I have a small problem which demands serious attention, for which I would be wanting leave for the day. Why do you want leave? So the reason, grandfather was ill, road to recovery. Parents need to go doctor, no one at home. So I'll be taking care. But I would be happy to work from home today. So see, you are working from home and you are still asking for leave. That's being ethical. So your boss is going to grant you the leave and your mail is going to get the response that you deserve. No sentence here is a very difficult sentence. These are all very simple sentences. Since I have clarity of thought in my mind, I am able to construct very simple sentences. But if there is a sentence construction problem, if there is a grammatical error, if there is an error in spelling, my software is going to help me address that error. So if I care about my mail, if I care about doing things in a manner that would be appreciated, then I would be taking care of these things. And the difference in time between what I've just done and what I would have done as a careless person just sent out would be probably 2 minutes. So this is what I'm trying to tell you that we need to be doing in order to send out mails that would get us the right response and that would create a great impression. So, friends, in today's lesson, we have seen how we can avoid some common errors that creep into our emails, thereby creating a bad impression for us. So, if you want to create a great impression on people you're writing to, always follow these tips and the several other tips that I am providing you. Thank you very much for watching this lesson. I'll see you in the next.